My F31 boyfriend, M32, keeps telling everyone I assaulted him. And I'm having a hard time understanding what he's trying to gain from it. TL. DR. Hot pan with oil caught fire, and I pushed BF away before he managed to dump water on it. He fell, hit his head, and now tells everyone I assaulted him out of nowhere. Omitting the whole fire context, Sam and I met on Tinder almost a year ago and became official. Maybe 6 months after our first date. He's a great guy overall, but he's also, for the lack of a better word, not very bright, and as more our relationships progressed, I saw that on top of being clueless about a lot of things that are considered common sense, he's also quite arrogant and never changes his beliefs even if presented with evidence. About a month ago we were in his apartment cooking dinner together. I had a bit of work to finish, so was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop while Sam was airing food. I told him just to wait 15 minutes max so I can join and help. He refused and continued loudly chopping and banging pots. I was already a bit annoyed, but knew that telling him to let me finish won't make him quieter. So I got up and moved to the living room. A bit later he said, jokingly, that it's too much work for one person and he'll wait till I'm done with my work. Grabbed his phone and went to the bathroom. What I didn't notice is that he left a pan with oil on a gas stove. Work took me a bit longer than I anticipated, and I guess I ignored the smoke smell for too long, and the moment I stepped into the kitchen to investigate it was too late, and I saw oil catching fire. I yelled for Sam that the pan is on fire, and tried to locate a big enough lid and an oven glove or a towel. Then I heard Sam's voice behind me saying, "Don't worry, I got this," and I see him approaching the stove with a huge carafe of water from his bedstand. My lizard brain took over, and like in slow motion, I jumped forward and pushed him as hard as I could away from the stove. Finally saw a wok lid and slammed it over fire. My heart was racing so much from adrenaline that I didn't even realize for a few seconds that Sam was in my face yelling that I assaulted him out of nowhere and he's calling the police. My initial reaction was, haha, nice joke, dude, but then I realized he's serious. Apparently, after I pushed him, he fell and hit his head, but nothing serious because there was no blood and no signs of concussion. Carafe broke and there was water and glass everywhere. I was still in agitated state and apologized for pushing him, explaining that I was on autopilot probably and just saw him carrying water and had to act quickly. That was the moment when his arrogance came up, and he began condescendingly lecturing me about how fires are put out with water. And I'm probably dumb and think firefighters just shove flames away. Not gonna lie, I lost my cool then and began yelling at him that he's the biggest idiot I've ever met, and he can just open an effing YouTube and see what happens when you add water to burning oil. But of course, he didn't listen and kept insisting all fire is put out with water. And I'm just an abuser and hit him for no reason, and he's gonna report me to the police. Because women are always get away with DV and male victims are forced to suffer in silence. At this point, I just told him to go F himself, grabbed my stuff and went home. He didn't make an official police report, but told his family and some of our mutual friends that he was just cooking peacefully and out of nowhere I assaulted him, pushed him on the ground and hit his head. Nothing about him leaving the pan on a gas stove. Nothing about the fire and his ignorance about it. Literally keeps telling people I'm an abuser. To some smart people who reached out to me to hear my version of events, I explained it fully, pointing out that I'm not saying I was right in pushing him this hard away, but from previous situations with him, I knew yelling "stop, don't throw water on the stove" would be pointless with him likely just ignoring me because he knows better. I think I'm still in some kind of a shock state, imagining the aftermath of the situation if he managed to dump a whole carafe of water into that oil. So I simply messaged Sam asking to stop harassing me, and we're over. But he keeps threatening me with filing a police report if I don't tell everyone the truth and explain why I assaulted him, repeating over and over again and sending him links on what happens when you pour water over oil. Fire made no difference because he replied that it's fake, and for the views and all adult know that You put out fire with water, and I need to stop talking about this stove fire. Because it has nothing to do with my violent behavior. No idea what to do really. He keeps pushing the narrative about being DV victim. It's not ruined anything in my life yet, mostly because I realized that Sam never cared enough about my life. And doesn't even know where exactly I work and never met my closest friends or family. So he didn't tell them or my boss this story. But some members of his family still message me asking why I did that. And why I won't admit assaulting Sam. Should I just accept that he went too far? And continue ignoring him hoping it will all go away? I have little faith in him. Actually going to the police with that, especially a month after. So what you guys think and advise for OP's situation? And what would you do if you're on her place? What's your opinion or advice for her? Let me know on the comment. Now here's are some comments from our community. And what are their own opinion for OP? From Polak Mike. First point. His family are the ones that taught him how to deal with an oil fire. They're probably just as fucking stupid. No sense in arguing with them. Second point. Tell him to stop fucking around and file a police report. You'll be completely cleared as soon as they hear him talk about him being right about putting out an oil fire with water. Third point. Get the fuck away from this guy. Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest is eventually going to come for his ass. And you won't want to be around when it does. Next is from ElephantNo3640. If someone next to me tried to dump water on a grease fire, I'd push them away from the area. As hard as I could, as fast as I could, too. Let him file whatever report he wants. Nobody will take it seriously if events were as claimed. From Tenebrae Occulta, if he files a police report, he will at some point be forced to explain to the police why he omitted the rather crucial details about almost starting a fire in his kitchen because he somehow got to be 32 years old without knowing you don't dump water on burning oil. So, I hope he gets off on embarrassing himself needlessly. As for the why, he sounds like one of those people who's just really determined to be a victim so he can soak up as much attention and sympathy as possible. And here's our next story. My partner 27M became super upset at me to 3F. That my office holiday party went longer than expected. I always assure him my intentions, and I feel I am a genuine person. I don't keep things and wouldn't do to anyone what I wouldn't like to be done to me. I am a big communicator with him and always let him know what is happening around me. Obviously, this was my first holiday party with the office. And I didn't know how long it would go on to, until I was there, and I was told how it usually goes. It is a long-awaited gathering with people flying in for it. It was to go on starting after work until 10:30 p.m. Anywho, I let him know that there is no definite time, but that I will be communicating with him the entire time. He had told me I could not go past the time on the invite, but our food, a 5-course meal dinner, was arriving like every 30 to 40 minutes, and the main entree arrived to our tables at around 10 p.m. with desserts and speeches and some more conversation yet to happen. We also mostly didn't sit the entire time. People would sometimes stand up and walk each chat around, or sort of did musical chairs. Plus my commute home added on too. I would be getting home pretty late. He did not have it and said his girlfriend should not be staying up or be out past the agreed upon time, because that would make me not a nice girlfriend, to put it mildly. Being my first office holiday event, and knowing that people flew in, I wasn't going to just leave midway. I also still needed to greet others out of respect and being polite at the point where it was close to time. But also when dessert arrived, he started bursting my phone with calls and mean messages, and I had to ignore, because it would have been rude leaving and coming and going or using my phone when it was an event to talk and celebrate, but also to. I was in middle of conversations most of the time, if not eating. I didn't completely ignore though. As soon as I was free, or it was good timing, I would text back and occasionally send a picture of what was happening. And I did answer him a couple of times, yet still, he was upset. The night ended with him deciding he can't be with someone who thinks it's okay to stay so late at night with coworkers. A couple of them also wished to continue the night. And I denied the invite because I didn't want to continue upsetting him. And there is also a promise I have with him that I cannot go to bars without him, or a well-timed notice, or too late at night. But I also too was dreading how much longer my commute could have been, plus my feet were killing me. And it had also been a busy day at work, mind you. I don't drink much, or at all, because I have an allergy to alcoholic beverages. I do not think his reaction was, or is okay. I feel he is trying to control what I do. And I've approached this conversation before multiple times, but I guess I am not doing it right. He came at me with the breakup card. He does that often. Unless I acknowledge and do exactly as he says, or wait till he comes back around. I somehow always excuse him because of certain things I've picked up or got to know from his past and growing up. Is there a better way that should I approach it this time? And was my response or handling okay? Or any thoughts? Together 3 years, BF and GF, not living together. We do short distance, so we see each other every 4 days, a state away. I rely on public transport. He does not. And what you guys think and advise for OP's situation? What would you do if you're on her situation? Let me know on the comments section. Now let's go to the top 3 comments on community comments section. What's their opinion about this? From DON Tome 39. He had told me I could not go past the time on the invite. That is your cue to leave. He is treating you as a child, not as an equal partner. He is giving you a curfew. Can't you see how controlling that is? You have to send pictures just so he believes you are where you say you are. Nest is from Challenge Flat 7795. You should let him break up with you. It's just another manipulation tactic to control you. You did nothing wrong. He has no authority to give you a curfew. From Look the Penguin's Boot. I guess I'm not doing it right. Yes. You're not doing it right. At least you got that right. He came at me with the breakup card. He does that often. Unless I acknowledge and do exactly as he says, or wait till he comes back around. Wait. He's your dominator, you lord and master. You're his servant. I somehow always excuse him because of, or got to know from his past and growing up. Whatever his childhood is does not give him excuse or reason to control and abuse you. Is there a better way that should I approach it this time, eyes? Block him. Don't waste another nanosecond with this psycho harassing you that you need his permission to be at a work event. WT actual F. Lol, just wait till whoever poor messed up woman has babies with this psycho. She'll be baby trapped. Zero money. Browbeaten, brainwashed, and abused into the ground. Run up, run.